Clam Blitz Anchovy. We've been seeing it a lot more recently, and I think that there's a fantastic place for it within tournament setting. It can be a lot of fun to watch, it can be very balanced, or it can snowball really, really quickly. So it can go either way here, and I'm super excited to see what both teams are going to be able to do.
Splatterscope versus Splatterscope. We see Clown playing the Kenza Rapid. He's like truly good with that. Oh my god, every time I see someone sub-strafe, I'm just kind of like overwhelmed a little bit. How you're too good. Especially Clown in particular, like, I don't know. Every time I see Clown in someone else's solo lobby when I'm watching a stream, I'm just kind of like, fear. But looks like Joseph's managing to take him out pretty quickly. Thank you, Ink Armor.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a tough one, though, because it seems like both teams only had one player up at a time, but this is what Kanai was probably waiting for. Gets a really, really good start on their first Power Clam. Neppy does have this Stingray that I think they're going to wait for the perfect opportunity to sort of support the team as they push forward. 9 clams, second Power Clam.
I see the bubbles coming in, potentially a jump, but at least that Stingray, yep, that Stingray being the thing that is pushing forward and allowing them to break. Joseph is the only one that is left up there, and it does look like that other Power Clam is going to die. It's the question now if will Neppy try and push forward, considering that Joseph only just went down, but it looks like that is the end of that push.
I mean, 71, not so bad for the first push, but what it does do, because it's not as big of a point gap as maybe they had wanted, it opens an opportunity for Lemuria to kind of take that Pity Clam and be able to run with it, and they have so much map control right now, too.
It also just, like, the thing there is, even if when you do have those, like, smaller pushes, you are giving the other team a free Power Clam.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's useful, though, right now that Clown was forced to use his baller to try and clean up Legend rather than being able to push forward. He is also now in a very awkward spot with that 2v1 coming out, but Stingray does manage to clean up those 2 Power Clams there. Joseph is not going to be able to recover either of them unless Kirito...
one.
There we go!
That's always so sad to me. Clam's despawn. Joseph jumps to safety. Really great move right there. Fantastic communication showing in that. But still, oh no, does go down.
It looks like
over
he
there.
got sniped. And now, oh my god, the clams are exactly even. However, Clown... Ooh, another jump. Okay. It looks like they're mostly just jumping around to try and avoid the Stingray. However, it does look like, there we go, Clown is able to push in. They have the jumps coming in with both of the Power Clams. They're probably going to be able to get both in, and there's the... However, that is the full wipe on the other team. Let's see if they're able to push forward already and get into their base.
If they can, if this is kind of what Kanai has been waiting for, and they're able to make this push really, really strong, they can very easily take back this lead. Is that 4 Power Clams? Every member of the team has a Power Clam up right now. This is so rare. You hardly ever see that. One member does go down, but if they're able to recover that Power Clam before it despawns, it's still really, really strong for them. Another goes down. No. Oh.
Legend
I feel like
Joseph are
that.
They're forced to retweet, and they do lose 2 of those Power Clams in the mix. They do, however, seem to be starting to get their specials back up, besides the Ink Armor that they have to use to just get out of their base. Joseph's being pushed by the blaster, and it looks like they're having a bit of an issue there. However, Legend is able to just sneak right in. However, ooh, that snipe.
Beautiful, beautiful snipe right there, taking out Legend as the hammer is popped, so they can't even use the hammer as a little bit of defense to push forward because the range on the sniper is much, much stronger, and they didn't know Rai was even in position there.
And Rai is just able to build up that Stingray already to be able to probably push out this push if it does happen. These bubbles, even though Carter and I have talked about this, that bubbles should kind of stop Stingray. That's like the appropriate Stingray nerf. But I mean, right now they don't. Legend is the last one left there, again with the hammer, but they are not able to follow it up a little. There it goes! They were able to finally get 2 of their Power Clams in.
Beautiful jump in right there. I thought that jump, I mean, the jump spot was being canceled. If we were at a land, that would not have been possible right there. you know, because it's the little bit of latency that you do have online that makes that jump play much more possible. And, you know, this puts Lemuria on a backpedal a little more now. They need to be really careful with some of these pushes because they don't have a lot of time, even though they do have these power clams.
And not only do they have these power clams, though, they do have all of the other clams that are loose. It's just the question of will they be able to even push forward. They have a Booyah Bomb coming out, and it looks like a baller jumping in right now. The question of will those both be able to go in? It looks like they were a bit... And that's game.
Wow, that was just... They've really just got that last one in. You know, they just needed... I mean, they needed both of them in, but I guess they had 3. Yeah, they did have 3. I'm watching on stream to watch that replay. They get both in at the same time, and the third one was right below it. So even if Kanai was able to clean up those first 2 jumps, they would have had a tough time with that third one.
Wow. And Carter almost breaks one of my monitors.
No!
Anxiety rises. It does rotate. Yes, he's not... He says I shouldn't have called him out. It does rotate. He's not wrong. But it looks like we're doing... gonna be moving on quickly to splat zones. I think, honestly, both of these teams... In particular, I think Lemuria is a pretty big fan of splat zones because they are involved in a lot of the European scrims that are mostly splat zones. I would splat zone Snapper, which I think is... Snapper's worst mode. I think Snapper's an overall really good map, except for this mode.
I really like Snapper as well. I think it's not so bad in splat zones if you're ready to kind of be prepared for a lot of the players to like take out those flanks. I think both teams have very strong chargers, which is going to be really helpful for this map because the chargers have a good opportunity to set up. They need to be ready for incoming flanks. Those hammers can be really strong here if targeted correctly. So, you know, I think it can go either way here. Sometimes it's a really fun one to play, and sometimes it's very stressful.
We'll see what specials come out, and if Clown decides to stay on that Kenza Rapid, considering Baller's not that strong here. He does decide to move to the Kenza Splatter Shot, which has really become a sort of meta. I think, honestly, it's sort of a meta versus not meta, except for we do have that Tri-Slosher coming out, which will give them the Ink Armor to counter that ends up. Ooh, and immediately 2 down with, I think, a beautiful snipe from Ree.
Wonderful, wonderful job there. And they are able to take the zone. Lemuria able to cap that pretty quickly here and begin to tick down their point. But Kanai has lots of time to come back in here, but, you know, they need to stay alive in order to do it.
Nebby did do an awesome job of winning the Charger battle. However, again, they just aren't taking the zone, and they do have the specials, but they went down already 2 down. The counter just keeps clicking down, and you know, for a team that has done such a good job of playing objective, it seems like they're really having a hard time of being able to do that here.
I think the aggression from Lemuria is really showing right now, and it's making Kanai be a little more worried about what their objective play should be because they feel like they need to be on the defensive for so much of this aggression a lot longer. But they are able to cap this zone and take down their point. They're very close to taking this lead with 2 specials on the ready.
I think, honestly, Legend, in a lot of ways, is doing an excellent job of being able to be distracting again. And they are, like, Kenza Brush isn't something that you're going to see in a lot of the, like, European scrims that at least are on stream. You don't see that weapon that much, so it's not that much of a thing that you're used to. Of course, right now, they immediately do go down. However, Lemuria still didn't manage to cap the zone in all of that. The counter is still going down.
This is exactly what I was talking about with that objective play. If you're pushed too far forward and you're not quite paying attention to what's going on behind you, you can miss your opportunity to cap zone, but they do clean it up and they're able to do it there with Kirito doing everything he can to make sure that they stay alive. Going into that splashdown, but gets taken out on the return.
I think one of the things here is that what I talked about on Inkblot in terms of the hammer, in terms of the brush, is that Legend is able to just make those pushes of standing up top and just being able to paint the entire zone here, especially because it is a much smaller zone than Inkblot.
I agree with you there. I think this is like a really strong pick and something that I hope to see more and more, because it's really nice when you see a fantastic brush player. As much as many players get frustrated playing against a brush, it's great to see them play very well.
I think one of the things that we are seeing a bit of a mistake happening with Kanai is that, one, those kinds of jumps in, but two, just when they have the missiles on them, they're still trying to flank and to hide. And obviously, the other team can see where the missiles are going, so it's not like you are really in a position where you are able to hide.
Very true. You need to really be ready for anything that can come at you sometimes.
I think as Clown gets these picks, that is a surefire way of these zone going in the other direction. However, we do see a 2-2, but Neppy is able to clean up there with the Stingray. Or no, Ree is able to clean up there. My bad. That is the lead. Slosher trying to get in with the baller, but is unable to. It is really up to Neppy, and Neppy goes down. It looks like that will be game.
That's really tough. As far as the play, you know, it seems like Lemuria is a little slow to kind of get the momentum started on objective, but they're so strong in terms of their aggression that once they do have that going, they're able to kind of continue that forward and forward and get the lead and knock that out very, very quickly. So I think Kanai needs to be on the defense a little stronger at the beginning, but take objective very quickly while they're doing it, which is a very difficult thing to do.
And now we do see Kanai in a kind of hard spot, but they have been in this position before. I've been able to get out of it. Honestly, though, it is indeed... Is it TC Wahoo? I can't read. Can I read?
Yeah, tower control.
TC Wahoo. Yes, we are good. Huh? Carter's giving me a confused look, and now I'm distressed.
Nope, tower control on Wahoo for round 4. We're good.
I think the interesting thing here too is that we haven't seen Candy go back to the carbon roller, which I think, to be honest, is probably a pretty good play. It's not that strong, and you're going to have a hard time against these kind of more traditional teams. But let's see. Watch, they're gonna pull it out now just to spite me.
They certainly could, but not to spite you, I'm sure.
Nope, they stay on the sloshing machine. Okay, thank you. Thank you for protecting my sanity. We do see again that they are coming out with that double Stingray comp, which I think served them pretty well in the Shellendorf power control match. However, I think in this question it really is how much special charge is rewearing, and we do see 2 main special charge coming out there. I think Rhea is trying to ensure that no matter what, that they have Stingray in any kind of push forward.
I think that's a really safe bet to have there. And, you know, right now it seems like going 2 down is really good for Kanai. You know, they need to make sure that Lemuria can't kind of wipe them out, but they need to be pushing objective a little further than they've done so far with 2 specials, a Stingray, and that Ultra Stamp. Oh, Team Wipe! Team Wipe!
Wow. I do think one thing that is interesting here, though, is that I think that someone else should be taking the tower over from Kanai. And in particular, I think Neppy should be taking it over from Candy, because Candy does have that Stingray and would be able to take in this Stingray battle. Instead, though, we do see Kanai going 2 down. It's gonna see whether or not Joseph can get that kill, and he is not able to.
It's a pretty frustrating feeling, too, when you're kind of facing down someone like that. The Booyah coming out, going to push it pretty far forward, but nobody... Oh, they do have someone on the tower. Thank you. Thankfully, someone on the tower getting that nice... I can't think of the word right now on Neppy.
Flanking splat.
Yeah, when you come
That's
out on the side. Flank.
Yeah.
You said blank, and I remember flank.
Legend does have that hammer once more, however, they are under pressure from the Tri-Slosher. The Tri-Slosher is going down, though. and we see 2 specials on the side of Kanai. I think one thing here too is that they did save that sloshing machine Stingray, literally waiting until they started pushing at that checkpoint. However, Rhea already has their Stingray back up. We see 3 specials already coming up. Lemuria. 4 specials. Nope, not 4 specials. I can't read.
Definitely 3 specials, but one of them did go down. One was used, and that Stingray coming out is going to try to help this push, but no, with only the Stingray user able to maintain their positioning, unfortunately that push is over, and it's going to continue to be lead on the side of Kanai for now.
However, ooh, great snipe from Neppy. That might be able to protect them a little bit, especially because Lemuria is not on the tower at all.
I understand C bringing out that jetpack right there as a way to survive, and I think it was a good call, but unfortunately they just didn't have enough kind of cover for themselves there. So it was a way for Kanai to kind of pick them off pretty quickly.
I think the question there too is just how much quick respawn are you wearing? Because honestly, I mean, I think we just generally don't. Wow, they are pushing again further and further. It looks like they are able to get to that second checkpoint. I don't think they're going to be able to clear it because Neppy is under a lot of attack there. But again, look, that Stingray coming in from Candy, letting them push. I think honestly, Candy's Stingray is what they're using as the kind of objective push and objective defense, where they're using a lot more of Neppy's as a kind of just general annoyance, really.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
A push to 16 already.
I think a push to 16 is really good on this map. You know, it's very difficult to make it around that bend with the tower, and I think they've done a fantastic job to it there. And, you know, Lemuria has a lot they need to work with to be able to get this back because they haven't gotten through any checkpoint.
I do also think that they used their specials a little bit early on that one. The Ink Armor really came back to them getting to mid rather than being able to be used at all for a push. Neppy already does have that Stingray back in. As does Candy. And Rhea's under a bit of an attack there, but is able to be cleaned up by Clown. Oh, actually from a nice little burst bomb. Already heading into overtime. They are not on the tower. Good kill on the hammer, though.
This is where I always worry. When the Stingray comes out during overtime, you know, teams have an option. They can back off, let the tower kind of be okay on its own, or fight through that Stingray. They were able to make that time through it, but it's not quite enough with too many players going down for Lemuria to be able to take that game. So we do have Kanai taking their first game in the set.
Yeah. I think they did an excellent job. I think honestly just being able to push forward quickly gives them just a quick way of just making it very, very hard to be able to push forward. And those 2 Stingrays, honestly, just, there's a reason why they call it the GG Ray.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Sometimes that's all you need is that second Stingray to back it up. The first one be a nuisance and the second one to really push tower, like you said.
And now we move on to Rainmaker, which is my favorite mode, except we are on Arowana, which, never mind.
I mean, it certainly could be worse to be able to kind of see how this goes. You know, it's going to be something here. You have so many things that can go wrong with the Rainmaker on Arowana. Depending on your push, where you want to be, it can just be really, really tough. So we'll see what the teams are able to do and, you know, who's going to be able to take this event. Maybe we might see a reverse sweep coming in.
So Riolu asked actually if we could change host for this match. Just, I think a lot of it is just they are in Europe and we are on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
it looks like we are going to move into this match, but I think maybe after this match we will switch hosts to move to a closer point. I'm not sure where Kanai is, but that might be necessary.
All right, so going into this, Rainmaker on Arowana, and we'll see who's able to take this fourth game in the set.
So we do see them going towards mid. We see basically a lot of special power and special saber coming out from Candy. We see the double Stingray comp, which I think makes a lot of sense for a map that is this long but not this wide. Ooh, Stingray already out from Ree.
Very fast.
And I think honestly the take on Legend is a particularly good pick because Legend has been causing them so many issues.
Mm-hmm.
Candy goes down, which does mean another Stingray is down. Neppy as well, and Neppy was nowhere close to Stingray. However, Legend again showing why he's a legend.
I am actually a little shocked that Legend decided not to go for the brush for this one. Maybe having a little bit of that speed would have been helpful to clean up some of the players while they push ahead of a Rainmaker. So, I don't know. Maybe, to me, this might have been a little bit of a misstep in terms of setting up their comp.
I think it'll definitely make this match a little bit more interesting. Particularly because, again, like, that's not a weapon that's often seen, except when people are kind of memeing. In terms of the sploosh, the Kenza sploosh, obviously, out of splooshes, is more of a better pick, at least, than the sploosh Neo. But I guess we'll really see. So far, Lemuria is able to push forward, however, they do go down. That's a full wipe. I think Legend's switch also might be because there isn't as much of an area just kind of to rain down, and there are these close, long hallways. However, Bomb does manage to take them down while they are in the hammer. Candy is the last one left on their team, and then quickly gets cleaned up too.
I'm not quite sure what I'm anticipating right now. You know, specials come out on the side of Lemuria here. And Clown does have the Rainmaker going to try to push forward, but coming around from the side, Joseph is able to take them out. The Booyah coming out too, though, is going to make it rough for Kanai to be able to pick that up right away.
And I think, honestly, Joseph's been doing a pretty good job of pushing forward. He's close to a special, but we already do Candy and Legend already there. It'll be interesting to see if Neppy or Joseph decides to pick it up. However, they do let it reset, which I do think is a smart call considering how far back it was. Candy and Neppy are mostly in mid, as Legend does go down, and Joseph also goes down and pushing forward, trying to get onto Reed.
This is where I think it's going to be pretty difficult for Lemuria to kind of hold onto this. There are 3 specials out. Oh no, but unfortunately Candy is the one to pick up that Rainmaker. Legend with the hammer pushes forward to 63 again where they were earlier, but that push is literally stopped in its tracks, and it's
GG, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, a minute and a half is still a decent amount of time to be able to push the Rainmaker, but I do think that Lemuria would have wanted to pick it up instead of letting it reset. Take their time to kind of force it back slowly on their time frame instead of just letting it reset.
I think that it'll be interesting to see who decides, if anyone, to pick up it on Lemuria. Legend is doing a pretty good job of pushing Reed, does manage to get that kill, and is able to again push forward with that hammer, giving a nice clean path. However, we do see Kirito managing to sneak in there as well as with Clown's help. Joseph, however, does manage to pick up the Rainmaker. Is he going to get the lead?
Nice
Yes!
job.
They got the lead way before. Wow. Up to 6.
6 is a fantastic, fantastic push. There's still a decent amount of time, and we've seen Lemuria do it before, so we'll see if they're able to do it again. But they have to contend with all of Kanai here. If Clown, no, not able to get that pick that they were looking for. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. It's going to be rough.
They really do have a long way to go, and it'll be questionable to see if they are able to push forward more. A lot of their specials are kind of more area division rather than like focused long, and the same with the hammer is. However, they do have a pretty good control over here. Reen needs to pick up the Rainmaker now. They do opt to not go in the hallway, which I think was the smart call because of the Stingray, but they do immediately go down, taking this 2-2. We are going to change hosts.
All right. Well, with that change host, we'll just have everyone kind of leave the lobby and allow them to come back in here. And we'll see if Lemuria is able to take this last game or Kanai. I think going into this, you know, the seeds on both teams, Lemuria is seeded first and Kanai 6th. But Kanai did show that they were able to take, you know, a commanding lead or over the Rest in Peace super meme.
Okay, it looks like we are going to head to joining Riolu for the last clam set of this. Of course, with teams all over the world, it does become a little bit hard with latency. We do try to accommodate that as much as possible, particularly considering how far away we are in particular. You can request switching host. So Carter, drop the lobby and let's go join Riolu. Or let's see where Candy is located in particular, because if they are on the East Coast, we really should join them. Huh? It would be Clown. So C. Five, 5, 5, 5. Honestly, though, Kanai has been doing an insane job throughout this entire tournament. Like, they've been 3-2ing all over the place. And I think, honestly, they're just doing a very, very good job of being able to kind of make these unexpected plays. Excuse me, I have to sneeze.
No problem. Bless you.
Thank you. Snowy, I think mics are still on. Oh. It's in help desk. Anyone in the server can read it. Plus, I mean, if anyone joins it, we just wait for them to leave. And or reset the lobby under a different password. We are ready to get into this already. We've got Flamblitz on Kelp Dome. What are your thoughts on Flamblitz Kelp Dome?
I hate Kelp Dome. I think if any mode on Kelp Dome has to be played, Flamblitz is probably the best one, especially with the changes that it received semi-recently. Opening up kind of that little area of right near the basket is absolutely wonderful, really, really strong. And I think that that was great. So hopefully it plays a lot smoother, but we'll see what they are able to do here with it. How do you feel about it though, Earth?
I mean, I think that Keltum clams in particular is kind of unfortunate. Like, I think it's a really easy map for it to go downhill rather quickly. It is a fun map to cheese on, considering you can go around the other way, and people aren't usually watching that. I am curious to see what Candy decides to go to in particular. I know I'm focusing on Candy, but it's the question of, are we doing another double Stingray comp, or what are we getting in? And again, the question of whether or not Legend is going to go Brush or Sploosh. I think that Clown probably will stick to the Kansas Splatter Shot rather than going to the Blaster. And I see no reason why Riolu would change Charger.
I agree with you there. Interesting. The double pro. Okay, so Booyah and Bubbles coming in.
Interesting.
Very
Clown
interesting.
goes there!
Yeah.
Man, I'm just wrong all over the place.
That's okay. It happens to the best of us.
Double Slusher Deco coming out, one from each side, which makes a lot of sense considering how well that worked.
It seems like the other one is the Tri-Slasher, so that's going to be really interesting too, because I believe that Tri has Rain, and that could be very helpful for covering the map pretty quickly, but you have to be in a position to be able to move forward as fast as possible.
So this Tri has Ink Armor. The Nouveau is the one that has the Bomb and Armor. This guy's got the Burst Bombs, which I think honestly the Armor is a very good pick considering, again, Joseph's Armor. And it's really nice when you do have Armor going up on each side, more than just on one side. We do see two Super Clams already on the side of Kanai, and we see a pretty good snipe there as well. The Stingray coming out to be able to pressure out that area. However, gets cleaned up by Kirito. Joseph is the only one left, and his option is basically to run entirely back to base, just to try and maintain that power clam.
Sometimes you need to kind of do a little bit of self-preservation for sake of objective there, and that's exactly what Joseph did with that power clam. But even though they don't have a lot of power clams on the side of Lemuria, they only have two, or they now have two up. You know, they have created quite a commanding amount of ink on this side here. Beautiful, beautiful shot by Neppy there, able to try to delay this push a little bit.
I do think that one problem in particular here is that you really can't jump back. You lose your clams, you use your power clam in particular. Ooh, and Kanai is able to break that break it right there.
Candy is pushed pretty far forward too with a lot of their clams, but this is what I was talking about. This makes this map a lot easier and kind of more able to play it because you have such a wider opening that time that you don't have everything sort of like tight and you can't defend it as well as you could. Another power clam going in. There we go. Kanai doing a fantastic job breaking their point down to 55. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get any more loose clams in at that point. Oh, they do! They do!
Oh, wow.
They keep it open!
And I think the thing here right now, Lemuria needs to pick up that power clam, otherwise they will not be getting a second one. There they go, they pick it up.
Okay.
Just in time, thank gosh. That always stinks when you lose it. We see Neppy having to contend with those bubbles right in their face, which makes it a pretty hard way of being able to push forward there. Again, though, already a power clam up on the side of Kanai.
They just have one, though, so it's going to be a little more challenging facing off of Lemuria's two that they do have here. I'm not sure. Two specials up, too. I don't know. Lemuria has a huge push they need to make right now in order to save this game.
Kanai also did an excellent job there of being able to... Woo, and another break! Just the jump-in break there. Ah, beautiful. Lemuria just is having a rough time generally because Kirito has consistently needed to jump in. They are doing the little trick, it looks like, to try and get at least one more clam in. They do stick at 43.
The middle jump one, I'm wondering if that was sort of changed as well when the map changed.
I think there's still ways of choosing around it, of being able to get that clam in as they did. However, we do see the Stingray coming out, which is basically keeping Re in zone. We also see another one of their power slams going down, so they go from being able to have three of them to just having two, and they are still pretty much trapped in their base.
They really are. I mean, using this as a good opportunity to... Oh, there's a jump coming in. I didn't even see someone over there. Kirito was under basket. Re jumps in, gets one in. Raphael gets one in. Unfortunately, though, they're not able to follow that up with any single clams.
Ooh.
And no one else is around.
And it was just Clown.
Oh, man.
Ouch. Okay, wow. And we see Lemuria, the #1 seed, going down to Kanai, and Kanai heads into grand finals there. Wow.
Very nice job. So I think, as far as I know,